Welcome CSC230 W1 to fall 2023 to creating a Replit account and also creating and sharing your first repl. So to get started, you're going to go to replit.com. We used to go to repl.it, but now the domain is replit.com. I'll just show you how to create an account and how to get it set up. So I'm going to sign up. I'll make a new account because I've been using a different email, and I use the same password for all my accounts. And there should be a verify email. I'm going to close up this, I'm going to close up this, and I'm going to come back to this in just a second. Let me go verify my email. And here's my email. And all you have to do is just click on this link, I think, to complete the verification. And it looks okay. So I'll close up the other one I had, and I'll use this. I'll get it out of my email. Now for fall 2023, there's a couple changes that I want to point out. First of all, you can change the color or the theme by scrolling down over here on the left side and changing it from light to dark. They also have a spooky theme. I'm just going to put it in dark. They also have other themes that you could go to now and use other themes. But for now, I'm going to keep it consistent and just use the dark theme. So this is the dark theme, and I'll use that throughout the semester. And notice when you're in My Repels, you can create a repel here. You can go home here. You can also create a repel. They also moved your icon over here, your profile. So to log out or go into your account, change password, anything like that, it's on the right side. They also have a add repel button right here as well. So just wanted to point that out for fall 2023. They keep making subtle changes, but it keeps getting better. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a repel that's going to act as our home page for our entire course that we're going to put all our folders in. Not always all of them, but most of them. So I'm going to go to My Repels. Now it's showing maybe the last repels I've done here. You can make folders and put things in them. I'm going to make one for fall 23 because here's my one from spring 23. I'm going to make a new repel. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to go here, My Repels, or if you could get it from the home button or this plus button, and just create a repel. And you're going to choose HTML, CSS, JS. And if you don't see that, you can search HTML and it'll come up. So you're going to use HTML, CSS, and JS. And you're going to select that template. And it'll have kind of a generic name in here, a random kind of name that's generated. And you're just going to call it CSC230 W1. Now, if this is your only class that you're doing it, you could just call it that. I'm going to put dash FA 23 because I do this every semester. I teach the class, so I always have different ones. So, but you can just put CSC230 W1 and then just create repel. And when you get in here, you'll have this standard template of code here, and you'll have your files over here, your index, your script.js, which we're not going to use right now. So if you want to delete that, you can go down here and delete it. So delete your script.js. You can keep your styles here right now. And there's a web view window here where you're going to preview the only thing showing here, which is hello world. Now we're eventually not going to use that, and we'll just open up a new tab. So if you go over here to the right side here and open up a new tab, that's where we'll preview everything. Now we don't have much going on right now except for hello world. It's kind of spinning here, but it'll say hello world. And that means you can move this over. Now, a couple things I just want to point out that are kind of new and a little confusing is these panes. These are called a pane. So if this ever went away, if you closed up WebView and you closed up Shell, and you're like, well, now I don't have a pane anymore, you can go over here and say add pane and insert it to the right. I usually keep it to the right. And then you have to choose what kind it is. So if you want to preview stuff, you could put WebView. That's just your web view. There it is, hello world. This thing should have displayed. I don't know why it's not displaying right now. Could be the Wi-Fi I'm on. But either way, there it is displaying. And you can move this over. Usually I just move it over like that and kind of keep it out of the way. And then you could bring it back if you want. I think there's a button there to bring it back. So it's still there. You didn't get rid of it. But if you ever get rid of it by accident, even this thing, if you close this, you could just kind of go here and hit index. Now they're in the same pane. So you might not want it in the same pane. You might want to just have index here and then go here and add a pane to the right. Now, if you don't mess with it, it's not going to have a problem, but if you accidentally close things. So they're making it more flexible. And again, I'll put web view down here and I'll move this over like that. because we're not going to really use this. I'll keep it here just so you see what's showing up here. So this is our basic code. Now, since we got rid of script.js, I don't need any of this script. There's a script tag here, opening and closing. It has a little badge on the bottom. You could get rid of that and just leave body empty. I don't even want hello world in here, and we don't need that either. Now, a couple things we'll put in here just to start, just to get you started. You could go in here for the title, and instead of Replit, just put CSC230 W1 homepage. And you can put your name, like your last name, in there if you want. Although that's just going to show up in the tab, so I don't know if you need your last name there as much. Although, you know, if you leave it there, it's not a big deal. It's just not a lot of space for it to show up. So that's the title which shows up in the tab. Now, it didn't change anything here. If you hit run, it didn't change anything here. Although now we don't have hello world because we got rid of it. But if you open this up here, if you refresh this, hello world would be gone, and it'll say CSC230 W1 homepage Homa. So that's our page. So we're going to go over here, and we're just going to do a couple basic things to start. So that's the title. And the title's important, not just because it shows up in the tab, but also search engines use this. So this is our head information in here. We'll talk about all this. But there is a link to a style sheet, which we're not going to use just yet, but it's no problem being there. But the body is our main visual part of the page, and there's nothing in there. That's why it's blank over here. That's why it's blank up here. Now we're just going to put a real basic thing in just to get started. Now again, this will be the home page for all our exercises. So this isn't really an exercise. This is just sharing our main repel. And if you go into body, watch this. You can go H1, and I'll hit tab, and it'll make two H1 tags that you could type inside of. And then you could put the same thing. You could even copy this. You can put CSC230 homepage. Then you can even make an H2. I'll hit return after the H1. I'll type H2. Now this is a shortcut, H2, and then you hit tab. And it makes your opening and closing tags, and it makes an H2 element, and I'm just going to put fall 2023. I'll just do that for now. And that way I have kind of a main heading and a subheading. And then eventually we'll put paragraphs that will link to exercises. And you could just put a P here and hit tab, but we don't have to put anything in here yet. Eventually we're going to put an EX1 folder that we're going to link to. But that's really how it's going to start for now. And then when you go up here and you refresh it, then you should see an H1, and it's pretty vanilla right now. It's just Times New Roman bold, and it says fall 2023. You could put, you know, web development or whatever, but this should be fine for now. This isn't meant to be really fancy looking or anything. It's just meant to be a repository for all your exercises. So you can change it if you want. You could, you know, if you wanted to change the color or anything, you could do that through your style.css. But that's all you have to do right now. Hey, one thing I forgot to mention here before we share this is down here where it has tools. If you go down to tools, and there's all kinds of things here, but if you go to settings, settings should show up in your right side pane. It may show up here, it doesn't matter where it shows up. But if you go to your settings, a couple things I just want to point out. Now, I have my font size at large because I record videos. You could change your font size. Indentation character, I would recommend you put tabs. If it's on spaces, just put it on tabs, and the size of the tab will be 4 spaces. So just use tabs 4. So whatever font size you want, put tabs, put 4. Make sure wrapping has soft wrap. Minimap, I'm not sure what that is right now. They have rulers, I think that's new. And we don't have to use Ghostwriter right now. I haven't used Ghostwriter, but there's AI built in. They're adding all kinds of things. So don't worry about that. But code intelligence, make sure that's on, because that'll help you autocomplete things. It'll have emmet, so you can type elements and just hit tab and it'll complete them for you. So make sure you use, again, tabs for soft wrap, minimap, I'm not sure what that is, and code intelligence. That's all you really have to do for now. And then when you're done with that, just close up your settings. So I just want to point that out because I forgot to mention that when I was first recording this. So back to the rest of the video for sharing your repel. So as far as your first exercise of sharing this, you made a repel, which was the older video in this video. And for fall 2023, it looks like this. We're going to eventually put links to other folders in here. And all you have to do to share it with me is basically go here and just copy this. Copy the URL. They used to have a share button, but they don't. So you just copy the URL, copy it, Command-C, Control-C, and then go back to MyWarren, and I'll show you what to do in MyWarren. Now, when you go into MyWarren, you're going to see a bunch of exercises in here, pre-tests and surveys and emails and all kinds of things in here and discussions, but I'm just opening up this right now just to see it. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in here and it's just create Replit account. And you might have one already, but even if you have one, you could just go in here and do this. All you have to do is just go down here to add comment and add a link. Make sure it's a link and then just paste it in here and make sure the current window is changed to new window so it opens up in a new window. That way I will have your repl and I'll know where to get it. And this is really your username that's going to be in there. Even if I don't have this, as long as I have your username, I can get to all of your stuff. So even at some point, you don't have to put a link to every single exercise, but as long as I have a link to your homepage, I can get to all of your other exercises throughout the semester. Now, some of them will do outside of this folder, but most of them will be inside of this folder. So that's all you have to do for your first assignment. And then I'll just see a link and I'll be able to get to your repl and I'll know that that's your username and I can go in there. And if I need to change things, I have to fork it. So I have to make a copy of it to fork it. I won't just go in and change yours. I don't have access to your account. I just have access to see your code and I can put it into my account and make changes and fix things or help you with stuff if you need. And then when you're done in here, you could close up this. You could always open that up again. Remember where you open that up. That's why I like to keep this open. You go up here to open in a new tab. That always opens in a new tab and you always have to keep refreshing. And I'm going to close that up right now. And then that's pretty much it. You don't have to save anything. You can go back and forth to different files here. You could close them and open up. You could close this, open it up. No big deal. There's no file save or anything. So everything's going to auto update as you work, and you could preview it here or just move this aside as you're doing a lot of coding. Even this stuff, you could close this up here. This is my repls. This will take you back home and stuff like that if you need to, but wait till you're done to do that. And you don't have to use invite. Deployments I think are new, and there's some other new things, Ghostwriter, artificial intelligence stuff. I haven't used any of that yet. There's other tools. There's shells in here that you can use. We do this for programming. There's different shells we can use. Down here there's packages that we can install that we'll probably be using in the 235 class and different things that you can do. But right now for this course we'll be just using WebView and just kind of moving it over here and doing most of our coding here and previewing it in a new tab. And you don't even have to hit run. Run is only to just show it here. So as long as you go up here and make a new tab like this and refresh it, that's all you have to do. So run is not really necessary, this run button. It is when you're programming and doing some other things in JavaScript, but for this, run just shows what's in here. It just shows that if you're going to do that, but most of the time we won't be doing that. So that's all you have to do for your first assignment in Unit 1. Next we'll be doing kind of a intro kind of assignments, similar to what we've done in CSC130, where we do a kind of a fall kind of list thing and we do a bunch of HTML elements like lists and numbered lists and bullet lists and we put in an image, and I always switch it from fall to spring. So sometimes my videos will have a spring picture, but you're going to use a fall picture and fall lists and things like that. But this is the fall, so that's what you're going to be doing. So that's your first assignment as far as working in Replit. If you have a Replit account, all you have to do is just create this, because if you didn't have this course, you'd still have to create this and then just share that link with me of your home repl that you're working with. So any questions, let me know.